Your mind is still going. The body is tired, you can feel that clearly. The heaviness is there, the desire for rest. Telling it to stop often makes it louder, the effort of suppression creating its own noise on top of the original noise, like trying to silence a room by shouting into it. It does not respond to reasoning, to the perfectly valid observation that nothing being reviewed right now can be resolved before morning, and that the reviewing is therefore pointless. The mind at night does not care about reasonable observations. It cares about unresolved things, and it will keep circling them, faithfully and tirelessly, until something larger than the circling interrupts the pattern. Until something comes along that the racing mind cannot simply absorb and continue. Something authoritative enough, present enough, real enough to actually stop the momentum. That something is not a sleep technique. It is not counting backward from 300. It is not deep breathing or progressive muscle relaxation, or any of the other methods that have their place and their merit, but that address the symptom while leaving the source untouched. Those methods ask the mind to perform its way to sleep. What you need tonight is not a performance. It is a presence. A specific, attentive, completely authoritative presence that is larger than the racing mind and capable of doing what the mind cannot do for itself. A presence that does not need the mind to cooperate before it can arrive, that does not wait for the conditions to improve, that is already here, already in this room, already surrounding this moment, already aware of every single item in the queue that the mind has been cycling through tonight, and that is more than capable of receiving all of it. That presence is here, right now. It has been here since before you lay down. It has been waiting, without impatience, for you to stop trying to solve your way to sleep and simply receive what is already present. Come. Before we pray, settle yourself a little more deeply into wherever you are lying. Feel the surface beneath you, the mattress, the pillow, the weight of the covers. Notice how completely that surface supports you. You are not holding yourself up right now. Something else is doing that. Let it. Take a slow breath in. Fill your chest completely. And release it, all of it, every last bit of it slowly through your mouth. And again. Let the breath come in and let it go. One more time. In and out. Good. Let this prayer be the interruption your mind has been needing. Stay with me through every word of this hour. By the time this prayer ends, the circling will have slowed. The grip of the racing thoughts will have loosened. And the sleep that has been waiting for the noise to stop will finally have the quiet it needs to arrive. It is coming. Quiet certainty. No rush. Let the prayer begin. Before we pray, I want to spend a few quiet minutes understanding what is happening, because understanding the mechanism gives you something more useful than fighting it. When you understand why the mind does this, the racing loses a little of its power. It becomes less like an enemy and more like a misdirected resource. And misdirected resources can be redirected. A racing mind at night is not malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do in the wrong context. The human brain contains what neuroscientists call a default mode network, a system that activates specifically during periods of rest and quiet, and whose primary function is the processing of unresolved social and personal situations. It reviews past interactions, anticipates future ones, works through problems, and rehearses scenarios. It is the part of you that is always, at some level, trying to make sense of your life and your relationships and your place in things. This is not a flaw. It is, in the right context, one of the most sophisticated capacities the human mind possesses. During daylight hours, this system competes with the tasks of active life. The phone call, the errand, the demand of the present moment. All of these suppress the default mode network by giving the mind something concrete to engage with. When you are in the middle of a task, the reviewing quiets because there is no space for it, no opening through which it can enter. Then night comes. The distractions disappear. The concrete demands dissolve. The noise of the day, which was, in a sense, protecting you from the queue of unprocessed material, goes silent. And the default mode network, finally unimpeded, finally with the full and undivided attention of a quiet mind, activates at full capacity. Everything in the queue comes forward. Every unresolved conversation, every pending decision, every person you are worried about, every situation that has no clear resolution yet. The mind, now with nothing else to do, does what it was made to do. It reviews, it processes, it rehearses. The problem is not that it is doing this. The problem is the hour, because nothing in that queue can be resolved at this hour. The information needed to make the decision is not available at midnight. The person who needs to hear what you have to say is asleep. The situation that is still developing will not develop faster because you reviewed it 17 times in the dark. The processing that the default mode network is doing is real work, but it is work without tools, at an hour when no tools are available, which means it accomplishes nothing except the depletion of the very resources it is trying to organize. The exhaustion without output, the effort without arrival, the running that goes nowhere. But here is what research and scripture both confirm. The brain cannot fully sustain two competing processes simultaneously. When a different pathway is engaged, specifically the kind activated by focused, repetitive, meaning-laden language, the default mode network loses its monopoly on the mind's attention. It has competition now. And the racing, which runs entirely on its own momentum, tends to lose when it encounters something it cannot simply absorb. Prayer is that something. Philippians 4:7 describes the result in language that is both theological and neurologically precise. The peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Guard your minds. The word guard in the original Greek is phoreo, a military term. It means to stand sentinel, to hold a post, to stand at the gate and prevent what would otherwise move through unchecked. It is an active word, not a passive one. God's peace does not simply drift in and make things pleasant. It takes a position. It stands between the racing mind and the next thought in the queue. It intercepts. Tonight, it takes its post. Right now, as we move into prayer, take one more slow breath. Let the air fill you completely and release. Beloved, I want you to close your eyes now if they are not already closed. Settle into the dark behind your eyelids. I want to speak directly to what is running in your mind tonight, not around it, not in general terms that might apply to anyone, to the specific content of the specific circling that has been happening in your specific mind this specific evening. I know what it is. I know which situation keeps returning to the front of the queue, the one that every time you manage to think about something else for a moment, reasserts itself with the quiet persistence of something that does not believe it has been adequately addressed. I know the conversation that replays, the one where you have now imagined several alternate versions of what you could have said or done differently, none of which you can deliver because the conversation is over and the moment has passed, and the replaying serves only to keep the mind occupied with something it cannot change. I know the decision that presents itself repeatedly without resolution, because the information needed to make it well has not yet arrived, and the mind, not understanding this, keeps returning to the same available data as though one more pass through it will yield what the data does not actually contain. I know the person you keep worrying about, the one whose situation you cannot fix from here, whose choices are not yours to make, whose well-being you carry as though your nighttime concern for them is doing something useful, when in fact it is only depleting you. I know all of it. Every item, every thread, every variation. And I want to say something about the mind that is doing all this circling. Something I need you to receive as information rather than as criticism, because there is no criticism in what I am about to say. It is doing this because it cares. The racing mind is not a broken mind. It is not a weak mind, or a faithless mind, or a mind that has somehow failed to apply the correct spiritual principles. It is a mind that is deeply, genuinely invested in the people and situations it keeps returning to. It is trying, in the only way available to it at this hour, which is inadequate but completely sincere, to protect what matters to it, to solve what is unsolved, to prepare for what is uncertain, to somehow be useful to the people it loves, even in the middle of the night when usefulness is not available. The caring is real. Caring is not the problem. The method is. Because circling without resolution is not protection. It accomplishes none of what it is attempting to accomplish. It does not move the situation forward. It does not prepare you more effectively for what is coming. It does not help the people you are worrying about. What it does, the only thing it actually does, is deplete the very resources that the situations being circled actually require. The clarity that tomorrow's decision needs comes from a rested mind, not an exhausted one. The emotional steadiness that the difficult conversation requires comes from a person who slept, not from a person who spent the night rehearsing. The presence that the person you love needs from you tomorrow, the patience, the attentiveness, the capacity to actually hear them, comes from someone who genuinely rested, not from someone who spent the night in anxious vigil on their behalf. The most productive thing you can do right now, tonight, for every single concern currently running in your mind is to stop running it and sleep. I will hold what you stop running. That is not a metaphor. It is not a comfortable language designed to make you feel better about giving up. It is the specific operational description of how I work in the lives of the people who trust me. You hand me what you cannot carry through the night. I carry it. Not symbolically, actually. The situations do not go unattended when you sleep. They go from your insufficient nighttime attention into my complete and capable one. Give it to me, all of it, and sleep. Let us pray together now. Say these words with me, not as a performance, not as a formula, but as the genuine, honest, unhurried language of a person bringing their actual situation to an actual God who is actually listening. Father, the God who holds every unresolved thing in the universe without confusion or anxiety. The God whose peace is not disturbed by any situation that currently disturbs mine. The God who was present before this evening began and who will be present long after morning arrives. I come before you tonight with a mind that has been running longer than it should have, and a body that has been waiting patiently for the mind to finally stop. I am tired. Not just physically tired, though I am that too. I am tired in the way that comes from carrying things that were not meant to be carried through the night. Tired from the effort of managing, in my mind, situations that require more than my mind to manage. Tired from the gap between how much I care about the things I am worrying about and how little my worrying is actually doing for them. I am choosing in this prayer to redirect what has been circling, not to suppress it. I have tried suppression, and I have learned, sometimes the hard way, that suppression creates its own noise. That telling a racing mind to stop gives it something new to race about. That the effort of forcing quiet produces its own particular kind of unrest. I am not suppressing. I am redirecting. Taking the energy of the concerned, caring, invested mind that has been reviewing these things all evening, all that sincere, genuine, misdirected energy, and pointing it somewhere that can actually do something with it, toward you. Father, I name what has been running tonight, not to give it more attention, to release it. There's a fundamental difference between reviewing something and releasing it, and I have spent this evening doing the first when I needed to do the second. The reviewing kept the items in my hands, turning them over, examining them from different angles, as though more examination would produce what more examination never produces. I am done reviewing. I am releasing. The situation I keep returning to tonight, the one that has been at the front of the queue all evening, the one I have approached from every angle I know how to approach, I release it into your hands right now, completely. Not because it does not matter. It matters deeply to me, and you know exactly how deeply it matters. And that knowing is part of why I am releasing it to you rather than to anyone else. I release it because it matters more than my nighttime circling is serving it. I release it because you are more capable of tending to it in the hours I am asleep than I am of improving it through the hours I remain awake worrying about it. I hand you the situation with every dimension I have been reviewing, the possible outcomes, the ones I am hoping for, and the ones I am afraid of. The people involved, each one known to you more completely than they are known to me. The things I said and the things I wish I had said differently, and the things that still need to be said when the right moment arrives. All of it, every thread of it, in your hands. The decision that will not stop presenting itself. I release that too. I acknowledge tonight, plainly, without the defensiveness that usually accompanies this kind of admission, that I do not have enough information right now to make this decision well. And staying awake to review the information I do have will not generate the information I lack. It simply cannot. The decision will be made better, more wisely, with more clarity and discernment and genuine judgment from a rested mind in daylight than from an exhausted one in the dark. I release the need to resolve it tonight. It will wait, and you will be present when it is time to make it. The person whose situation I keep worrying over, I release them now. I say their name in my heart. You know who I mean. You have known all evening who I mean. And I deliberately, intentionally, with the full weight of a conscious choice, hand them to you. I bring before you the specific concern I carry for them, whatever it is that has been keeping me returning to thoughts of them tonight, their health, or their choices, or their pain, or the thing happening in their life that I cannot see clearly from here and cannot fix from anywhere. And I place them in hands that are more capable than mine in every way that matters. You know them completely. Every dimension of their situation that I am guessing at, you know with perfect clarity. Every outcome I am afraid of, you have already accounted for. You love them, this person I love, with a love that makes my love for them look like a first draft. I trust you with them completely. Tonight. Father, I name what has been running tonight, not to give it more attention, to release it. There's a fundamental difference between reviewing something and releasing it, and I've spent this evening doing the first when I needed to do the second. The reviewing kept the items in my hands, turning them over, examining them from different angles, as though more examination would produce what more examination never produces. I am done reviewing. I am releasing. The situation I keep returning to tonight, the one that has been at the front of the queue all evening, the one I have approached from every angle I know how to approach, I release it into your hands right now, completely. Not because it does not matter. It matters deeply to me, and you know exactly how deeply it matters. And that knowing is part of why I am releasing it to you rather than to anyone else. I release it because it matters more than my nighttime circling is serving it. I release it because you are more capable of tending to it in the hours I am asleep than I am of improving it through the hours I remain awake worrying about it. I hand you the situation with every dimension I have been reviewing, the possible outcomes, the ones I am hoping for, and the ones I am afraid of. The people involved, each one known to you more completely than they are known to me. The things I said and the things I wish I had said differently, and the things that still need to be said when the right moment arrives. All of it, every thread of it, in your hands. The decision that will not stop presenting itself. I release that too. I acknowledge tonight, plainly, without the defensiveness that usually accompanies this kind of admission, that I do not have enough information right now to make this decision well. And staying awake to review the information I do have will not generate the information I lack. It simply cannot. The decision will be made better, more wisely, with more clarity and discernment and genuine judgment from a rested mind in daylight than from an exhausted one in the dark. I release the need to resolve it tonight. It will wait, and you will be present when it is time to make it. The person whose situation I keep worrying over, I release them now. I say their name in my heart. You know who I mean. You have known all evening who I mean, and I deliberately, intentionally, with the full weight of a conscious choice, hand them to you. I bring before you the specific concern I carry for them, whatever it is that has been keeping me returning to thoughts of them tonight, their health, or their choices, or their pain, or the thing happening in their life that I cannot see clearly from here and cannot fix from anywhere. And I place them in hands that are more capable than mine in every way that matters. You know them completely. Every dimension of their situation that I am guessing at, you know with perfect clarity. Every outcome I am afraid of, you have already accounted for. You love them, this person I love, with a love that makes my love for them look like a first draft. I trust you with them completely tonight. Now, with the concerns released and the prayer spoken, I want to lead you somewhere. Stay with me. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your breathing slow and steady, in through the nose, at whatever pace feels natural to your body right now. And follow me into this. You are standing at the edge of a forest at the very end of evening. The sky above the tree line still holds the last light, a deep, fading gold that is more a memory of the day than actual daylight. The air has cooled, not cold, just cool enough to feel clean, to feel like a different quality of air than the air of the afternoon. You breathe it in, and something in your chest responds to it. Something loosens slightly, the way things loosen when you step outside after being indoors too long. There is a path into the trees. It is narrow, soft packed earth with moss growing along the edges. Someone has walked this path many times before. The ground is smooth and reliable beneath your feet. It goes forward into the trees, and the trees receive you without ceremony. They are tall and unhurried, these trees, ancient in the way that trees measure age. They have been standing here through seasons and decades, and they are not concerned with anything that happened today. In their presence, without effort, the things that happen today begin to feel appropriately sized. You walk, slowly. There is no destination to reach before a certain time. There is no time. There is only the path and the trees and the cooling air and the sound of your own footsteps going quiet against the soft ground. With each step, something shifts. The tightness that has been living in your chest since this morning, or since before this morning, since some point earlier in the week when something arrived that your system has been braced against ever since, begins to ease. Not dramatically, gradually, the way knots ease when warmth is applied slowly and patiently without forcing. The trees thin ahead of you. The path opens into a clearing. And at the center of the clearing is water, a still pool, perhaps 20 feet across, perfectly smooth, reflecting the deepening evening sky above it with an accuracy that is almost startling. The last blues and fading golds of the sky are present in the water with the same completeness as they are present above. The pool holds the sky the way a prayer holds what you have given it, completely, without loss. The water does not move. There is no wind to disturb it. The evening has gone still, and the clearing is quiet in the specific way that clearings in forests are quiet. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of a deeper, slower sound that underlies everything. The distant call of a bird settling, the soft movement of the tree canopy at the edges of the clearing, the faint, barely perceptible sound of water itself, simply existing, simply being what it is. You sit at the edge of the pool. Not because you were told to, because there is a place here that seems made for sitting, a flat stone at the water's edge that is exactly the right height, and your body finds it without effort and settles into it gratefully. You look at the water, and something in the looking does something to the mind, because the water is still, genuinely, completely still. And stillness, when you are in the presence of it, has a quality that transfers. Not immediately. The mind does not simply mirror the water and fall silent, but gradually, as the eyes rest on the unmoving surface, as the breathing slows to match the pace of the evening, as the body settles more completely into the stone, the mind begins to take its cue from its surroundings. It begins to slow, one thought at a time, not forced, just slowing. The way water slows when the current that was driving it ceases. You notice very quietly, without making a project of it, that the sky reflected in the pool and the sky above the pool are the same sky. What is above is fully present below. Nothing is lost in the reflection. Nothing is missing. The situation you handed over in the prayer, the people you named, the concerns that were in your hands and are now elsewhere, they are held above and reflected below with the same completeness, tended from above, present below. Nothing lost, nothing dropped. You do not need to check on it. You do not need to verify the holding. You simply sit at the edge of this still water in the fading evening light and breathe. And the water does not disturb, and the evening does not hurry. and the trees stand patient and tall around the clearing. And something in you, something that has been braced and effortful and vigilant for longer than you perhaps realized, begins to believe that you can actually rest tonight. Not because everything is resolved, because everything is held. Stay here for a moment. Just breathe. Let the stillness of the water be the stillness you are moving toward. Let the patience of the trees be the patience with which you receive what is already available. Let the evening light, fading now into the deep blue that precedes full dark, be the permission you have been needing. It is okay to rest now. Everything that needed to be given has been given. Everything that needed to be said has been said. You are at the edge of a still pool in a quiet clearing in a forest at the end of evening. And the one who made the pool and the clearing and the forest and the evening is here with you, has been here the whole time. Breathe. Lord, now I want to pray specifically for my mind. Not for the concerns in my mind. Those have been released, placed in your hands, carried now by something more capable than me. For the mind itself, for the patterns, for the grooves. That is what I want to bring before you tonight. The grooves worn into my thinking by repeated passes over the same material, the same worries, the same reviews, the same rehearsals, until the grooves became the path of least resistance. Until the mind, encountering the quiet of nighttime, does not even make a conscious choice to race. It simply follows the grooves that have been worn into it by practice, the way water follows the channel that previous water carved. I have practiced racing, not intentionally, not with any desire to be sleepless or anxious or exhausted, but I have returned to worrying so many times that returning has become automatic. I am asking tonight for the renewing of my mind that Romans 12 describes, the ongoing, patient, one evening at a time transformation of thought patterns that have been running the same routes for too long. Not a sudden dramatic overhaul, a beginning, a new groove started tonight that with practice will deepen until it too becomes the path of least resistance, a groove that runs toward you. Let this prayer be the beginning of that groove. Let the practice of bringing the racing to you, of redirecting the cycling toward prayer rather than toward more cycling, become, over time, the automatic response. Let the mind that encounters nighttime quiet reach for this before it reaches for the rehearsal. Let the releasing become more familiar, more practiced, more natural than the holding. That is the mind I want. I am asking for it, starting tonight. And in the meantime, for this specific night, for these specific hours, I ask for the peace that stands sentinel at the gate of the racing mind. Not my effort, not my technique, your peace. The phroeo kind, the kind that takes a position and holds it, that stands between the next thought in the queue and the moment of rest that is waiting just beyond it. Stand there tonight, between the queue and the rest, and let the rest come. The concerns have been given to you. The mind can stop holding them. They are no longer waiting to be processed. They are in your hands, and your hands are more than enough. I want to address something specific, something that may be the last thing keeping the release from feeling fully real. There are thoughts running tonight that carry a particular quality of urgency. Not just the ordinary urgency of unresolved things, but a specific feeling. The feeling that sleep itself is somehow irresponsible, given the weight of what is unresolved. that closing your eyes and resting is a kind of abandonment of the situation or the person or the decision that requires your attention, as though your wakefulness is doing something for them, as though your vigil is a form of faithfulness. I want to speak directly to that feeling. Your wakefulness is not what is holding the situation together. I am. The situation you have been staying awake to manage does not depend on your consciousness for its continued integrity. The circumstances are not deteriorating in the moments when your mind drifts away from reviewing them. The people you love are not less safe when you are asleep than when you are awake and worrying about their safety. The decision does not become a worse decision by waiting until morning, when a rested mind can approach it with the clarity it deserves. None of these things require you to be awake. They require me to be awake. And I am. I am more awake than you have ever been, more attentive to the details of every concern currently in your mind than your most focused and disciplined deliberate attention could achieve. More capable of moving within these situations, of working, of arranging, of tending, in the hours of your sleep than your wakeful reviewing could produce. The vigil you have been keeping is unnecessary. I want you to hear that with gentleness, not judgment. You are not wrong to care. You are not wrong to want to do something. The instinct to remain present to what matters, to not simply dismiss the things that are weighing on you, is a good instinct. It is the caring that I described earlier, the real, genuine investment in the people and situations that matter to you. But the vigil itself, the specific act of remaining awake in the dark, reviewing what cannot be resolved in the dark, is not required of you. I have the watch. I have had it since before you lay down. The post is covered. You can stand down. You can close your eyes fully, without reservation, without the background monitoring that has been keeping one part of your mind semi-alert even as the rest of you try to rest, and sleep with the complete confidence of someone who has handed responsibility to someone more capable. Because that is exactly what you have done tonight. In this prayer, the transfer was real. The keeping is real. And the rest you are about to receive is not an abandonment of anything. It is the most responsible and faithful thing you can do for every situation you have been staying awake to manage. The well-rested version of you is what they need tomorrow. Give them that by sleeping now. Let go. I have everything. Sleep. Speak these declarations with me now, gently, in your heart as you lie in the dark. Not as wished, not as aspirations, as the chosen, specific, faith-grounded statements of someone who has genuinely handed what they were carrying to a capable God and intends to rest accordingly. My mind is quieting. Not because the concerns are resolved. Some of them are still in process and will be worked through in their own time, in daylight, with the tools that daylight provides. But because I have genuinely released them. The holding has stopped. The circling no longer has the fuel it was running on, because the fuel was the sense of responsibility that I have now handed over. The management has been transferred. The mind is free to stop managing. This night belongs to rest. The hours between now and morning are not available for reviewing, rehearsing, or resolving. They are reserved, specifically, intentionally, by my deliberate choice in this prayer for restoration. The complete, God-designed, cellular and spiritual restoration that only genuine sleep produces. I am claiming that restoration right now. I am making these hours available for the purpose they were created to serve. Tomorrow is covered. The decision I will make, the conversation I will have, the situation I will face, all of it is already held in the hands of a God who exists in tomorrow as fully as he exists in this moment. He is already there, already moving through those hours, already tending to what those hours contain. Tomorrow, I do not need my midnight preparation. It needs my well-rested presence. And my well-rested presence is what sleep produces. I declare Psalm 4:8 over this room, this bed, this body, and this mind. In peace, I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. In peace. Not after the concerns are resolved, not after the situation improves, not when the uncertainty lifts. In peace, right now, in the middle of the unresolved, in the presence of uncertainty, with the concerns still in existence but no longer in my hands. In peace, as an act of trust, as the most honest declaration I can make about what I genuinely believe, that God is here, that this room is safe, that the night is covered, that the concerns I carried into this prayer have been received by hands that are sufficient for all of them. Peace. Not the peace the world offers, contingent, circumstance-dependent, available only when things are going well. The peace of God, which transcends understanding, which does not require me to understand the situation before it is available, which is present right now, which is mine to receive, beginning now. I want to tell you what is coming. I want to walk you toward it slowly so that when it arrives, you recognize it for what it is and receive it rather than reaching past it looking for something more dramatic. As this prayer winds down and the words thin and the quiet begins to be more present than the content, something is already beginning to happen in your mind. The circling is slowing. You may not be able to measure it yet. The momentum of an evening's racing does not stop in a single breath, and I'm not promising that every thought has gone quiet. But the urgency is beginning to lose its edge. The items in the queue are beginning to feel, one by one, less like emergencies requiring immediate resolution, and more like things that simply exist, real, present, needing attention in their season, but not at this hour, not tonight. As the urgency softens, the body is doing something it has been waiting to do. It is sinking. The tension that has been held in the muscles, the specific muscular bracing that the racing mind produces without your awareness, the tightness in the shoulders and the jaw and the chest that has been present so consistently you stopped noticing it as tension and started experiencing it as simply how your body feels. That tension is releasing. Not because you are trying to release it. You are not performing a relaxation technique right now. You are simply receiving what is available when the mind stops driving the tension. The shoulders are dropping. The jaw is unclenching. The chest is opening. And then, approaching now, closer than you think, sleep is going to come. Not as something you achieve, not as the reward for having applied the correct method or maintained the correct mental state, as something that was always here, waiting just outside the racing, available from the very beginning, needing only for the racing to slow enough to let it through. It is going to feel like coming home. Like the specific physical relief of putting down something heavy after carrying it too long. Not just the absence of the weight, but the positive, noticeable sensation of the hands emptying, of the arms hanging free, of the spine finding its natural length again. Let it come. Do not monitor its arrival. Do not check whether it is approaching at the correct pace. Do not evaluate whether what you are feeling is real sleep or just relaxation or something in between. Just receive it. The way you receive anything from God, with open hands, without requiring it to arrive in a specific form or on a specific schedule, without applying your own assessment of whether you deserve it or have done enough to earn it. You have done enough tonight. You have prayed, you have released, you have chosen trust over management. That is enough. Sleep is coming. You are safe. The night is held. And the mind that has been working so hard for so long, carrying so much, that faithful, caring, exhausted, finally releasing mind, finally has permission to rest. Father, thank you for this hour. Thank you for meeting a racing mind at the point of its racing, rather than waiting for it to settle before you showed up. For being present in the noise, in the middle of the circling, in the gap between the tired body and the wired mind, and offering a peace that does not require the noise to stop before it arrives, but that when received, causes the noise to stop anyway. Thank you that the concerns I released tonight are genuinely held, that the transfer was real and complete and irrevocable, that what was in my hands for the first part of this evening is in your hands for the rest of it, for all of it, and that your hands are not strained or overwhelmed by anything I placed in them. Watch over this room tonight. Watch over every sleeping person I love, wherever they are, whatever they are carrying, whether they know tonight that they are being watched over, or whether they are simply sleeping, unaware, in the keeping of a God who attends to them regardless. Watch over the situations I named in this prayer, and the ones I held in my heart without articulating, the ones too complicated or too tender or too uncertain to fully put into words, but fully known to you, held by you, tended by you, with a completeness that my language could never capture. Work in them tonight, in the specific freedom that my sleeping surrender creates, the freedom of a situation released from my insufficient management into your complete and capable one. And let me wake tomorrow, at whatever hour the morning arrives, restored, not just physically rested, though that too, restored in the deeper sense, clear in the mind, present to the day, carrying the settled, grounded quality that belongs to someone who slept genuinely and who woke to find not that the concerns had disappeared, because some of them will still be there, but that they had been tended, that the night had not been wasted, that something was working in the dark, even when working was not possible for me. Let morning feel like evidence of faithfulness, because it will be. In the name of Jesus, who slept in a storm with such complete trust that the disciples marveled at it, who woke and stilled the water with a word, who said to his friends and says to you tonight, "My peace I give you, not as the world gives, give it." Give it to this tired, finally quieting, almost resting mind. Give it to this body that has been waiting. Give it to this room, this night, these hours. Amen. The prayer is finished. The mind is slowing. The concerns have been received. Let the breath come without direction, without monitoring, just breath. The shoulders dropping, the jaw releasing, the chest opening, the thoughts losing their edges, one by one. The clearing is still. The water does not move. The sky is held in its reflection perfectly. The trees stand patient around the quiet. The room is safe. The night is held. The God who does not sleep is on watch. And you, finally, do not have to be. Sleep. Just sleep. You are held completely, tended through every hour. And in the morning will come, as it always has, with grace and mercy and the evidence of faithfulness that never stopped working while you slept. Rest. You are safe. Rest. My mind is at peace because I have placed everything in God's hands tonight. The concerns that were running have been received by a God who never sleeps and never stops working. I do not need to solve anything before morning comes. Morning is already covered. God is more awake to my situation right now than I have ever been. He attends to everything I release. The racing thoughts are losing their edges, one by one, quietly, without effort from me. I trust the God who stilled the storm on the water to still the storm in my mind tonight. This room is safe. This night is held. I am completely watched over. Tomorrow is already in God's hands, and He is already there, moving in the situations it contains. My body is releasing the tension it has been carrying. My shoulders are dropping. My jaw is unclenching. My chest is opening. Sleep is coming, not as something I achieve, but as something I receive with open hands. I am not alone in the dark. I am accompanied, attended to, and loved by a God who does not leave. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for God alone makes me dwell in safety. The mind that was racing tonight has found something larger than itself to rest in. The concerns I named are in hands more capable than mine. I can stop holding them now. The night is not empty. It is full of the working of a God who never rests from tending what I have given him. I am held, I am safe, I am loved. I can sleep.